Hello and welcome to the 2020 Ohio Local History Alliance Outstanding Achievement Awards Luncheon. Although technically speaking, we have not actually provided lunch this year. We hope that you are enjoying your lunch as of choice while you join us. By this point in the conference, you are probably familiar, if you've been attending the rest of the conference, with the fact that our sessions and chat activity are being recorded. This session, in addition, is also being live streamed on Facebook, so be aware of all of those things. We ask that all questions be submitted through the Q&A versus the chat, but please use the chat to talk amongst yourselves. Make sure that you've selected all panelists and attendees so that everyone can see your commentary. And if you have technical problems, please email the Ohio History Connection at dl@ohiohistory.org. And we'd like to thank the Ohio History Connection again for providing the technical resources that have made the conference possible. I am now going to turn it over to Greg Palumbo, who is not the chair of the Advocacy Committee, but who does this presentation every year because Tim Daly, who does chair that committee, does not enjoy doing presentations.
Thank you, Betsy. I think I do it every year because I'm the only guy in the room that doesn't say no. But good afternoon. I am Greg Palumbo, the Executive Director of the Lakewood Historical Society and a representative of the Ohio Local History Alliance Advocacy Committee. It is my honor to present this afternoon the 2020 Ohio Local History Alliance Awards for Outstanding Achievement. Since 1960, the Alliance, in partnership with the Ohio History Connection, has led the state in recognizing excellent projects, programs, publications created by Ohio historical societies and museums, as well as recognizing individuals who have contributed greatly to the field of history. In a year when many projects have been canceled or pivoted to virtual experiences due to COVID-19 pandemic, the following award winners have shown how, when faced with historic challenges, the history community will respond with flexibility, perseverance, and the comfort and pride of our long-sighted perspective. On behalf of the Alliance Board, we will be presenting 10 Outstanding Achievement Awards that have inspired, connected, and educated their audiences in Ohio. We've asked all the recipients to record a brief statement, which we will share with you after I read their award. We will start with Ohio History Outreach Awards, which recognize outstanding projects with educational content that have contributed to the promotion and understanding of local and state history and that have had an impact on the community. In other words, projects that inspired, educated, and connected their audiences to local history. The first category within the History Outreach Awards is for public programming for organizations with an annual budget over $25,000. Our first award goes to the Butler County Historical Society for their program, Driving Tours of Butler County. In an attempt to give families safe and educational programs to enjoy during the COVID-19 quarantine, the Butler County Historical Society developed driving tours based on the 45 Ohio historical markers and numerous other historical markers throughout Butler County. 5 different tours were developed based off of geographical location and covered the entire county. Accepting the award on behalf of the Butler County Historical Society is Kathy Creighton. And I believe we have a video of Kathy.
We do. And I apologize because I seem to not have, I thought I had downloaded it and I'm not finding it right now. So let us move on to the next video and I'm gonna see if I can find Butler County's video.
Okay.
We'll come back to it.
The next award goes to the McKinley Presidential Library and Museum for their exhibit and public programming offered as part of Project EAT. Project EAT is a community-wide partnership that celebrated all things food in 2019. Partners included museums, colleges, businesses, and organizations fighting hunger in Stark County. The partnership included a series of food-related programs, events, and exhibitions created throughout the Stark County area. 3 exhibitions were presented simultaneously at the Canton Museum of Art, McKinley Presidential Library and Museum, and the Massillon Museum, plus more than 30 events and programs. Partners included Canton Food Tours, Carpe Diem Coffee Shop, National First Ladies Library, Palace Theater, Stark Fresh, Food Design Institute at Walsh University, and Kent State Stark. They received funding for parts of the project Eat from Arts in Stark and Visit Canton. Accepting the award on behalf of the McKinley Presidential Library and Museum is Kim Kenny. As we're waiting for the video to load up here, I will say that we had several members of the advocacy committee and OLA volunteers come in and review all of the projects. There were many wonderful projects this year. Unfortunately, we're not able to give awards to everyone. We did have a debate on everyone's application. So we really appreciate all of the hard work that our history community has been doing this year.
Sorry, this is totally me. It was playing on my end, and I'm like, why are people not why are people not seeing it? All right.
Hi, I'm Kim Kenny, Executive Director at the McKinley Presidential Library and
Hey, Betsy, the sound isn't being played, so I think you need to unmute yourself so the sound plays through to the rest of the attendees.
Sorry. I've done this. I swear I know. Well, all right. So by the second video, this will be all old hat. Okay. So,
hi.
okay. So what I need to do is that when I share my screen, I have to share my computer sound.
Hi, I'm Kim Kenny, Executive Director at the McKinley Presidential Library and Museum. And I want to thank Hi. Hi, I'm Kim Kenny, Executive Director at the McKinley Presidential Library and Museum. And I want to thank the Ohio Local History Alliance for this amazing award for Project EAT, which was a community-wide collaboration of many partners in Stark County to celebrate all things food in 2019. Our brochure for Project EAT shows only part of all of the programs that we did that year. And we were very, very lucky to have such wonderful people to work with, including the Massillon Museum, the Canton Museum of Art, the National First Ladies Library, Stark Fresh, Canton Food Tours, Carpe Diem, Walsh University, Kent State University, and lots more partners in the community. So this is really not an award just for the McKinley Presidential Library and Museum, but on behalf of all of our partners, I want to thank you for this tremendous honor. Hi, I'm Kim.
All right, I do have Butler County now, if we would like to see the Butler County one.
That would be great. Let's head back to Butler County and Kathy Creighton for their program, Driving Tours of Butler County.
Creighton, on behalf of the Butler County Historical Society, we want to thank the Ohio Local History Alliance for giving us a History Outreach Program Award for public programming for our driving tours of Butler County historical markers that was done during the pandemic of 2020. The idea came about from one of our board members for a safe way that parents could take their children out to teach them history, but yet maintain social distancing. So we started by contacting the Ohio History Connection and asked them for permission to use the photographs and the write-ups that were on the markers. Then we had to talk to other people like Metro Parks of Butler County, the City of Sculpture, in order to get permission because a lot of the markers that we used were part of their property too. We also included other markers that weren't historical markers, but were well known in Butler County. I want to thank my committee that worked on this. Thanks to Liesl Bauer on my board, who did all of the layout for the exhibit. My administrative assistant, Christina Beckett, who did all of the live posting to Facebook and to our website, and is our camera person today filming this. I want to thank the photographers that gave us permission to use their pictures. Metro Parks of Butler County, Ohio County Historical Society, City of Sculpture, Richard Solomon, Jack Armstrong, RemarkableOhio.org, and then I took a lot of them myself. My contributors, as far as writing the script, of course, the markers tell their own stories, but we also had to add to it. I was responsible for the text photography and laying out the tours. Like I said, Liesl Bauer was our concept developer and graphic designer. Christina Beckett did the websites and constant contact. The Oxford tour was a specific challenge for us because doing the driving directions on one-way streets, I had to have a lot of help from Oxford people that lived up there. Big thanks, shout out to Valerie Elliott at the Smith Library of Regional History and Dr. Kurt Ellison, former professor of history at Miami University, for the hours they spent getting our driving directions correct. Chris Marcialo and Joanne Williamson for help with the Oxford tour. And last but not least, I want to thank my husband, Ed Creighton, who was the driver and spent countless hours getting lost in Butler County, driving around and checking out all the markers. Again, on behalf of the Butler County Historical Society, I thank the Ohio Local History Alliance. Creighton,
Okay. Hey, Kathy. All right, so we will head to our next project. The next award goes to Shelby County Historical Society for their programming for the Shelby County, Ohio Bicentennial, 1819 to 2019. During 2019, Shelby County celebrated an important and historical milestone, its 200th year anniversary. A special bicentennial committee was formed and events were planned throughout the whole year with a grand opening ceremony on April 1st, 2019 at the Sydney Middle School. The Shelby County Historical Society played a major role in the planning of several celebratory events. Kicking off in April, the Society hosted 5 different lecture series as different locations within the county. The first was a retrospective on how Shelby County got to where it is now, following a lecture on how transportation changed within the county, the history of local author Lois Lenski, Shelby County's legal history, and finally, the history of Rumley, a community founded by free Black men. On April 27th, Hardin, the first county seat, held its first community celebration with the aid of the Society. An art show featured over 300 projects by local elementary students with the local history themes. Antiques and vintage quilts were shown at the Hardin United Methodist Church, and music was provided by local musicians. The bicentennial flag run also began at Hardin and continued to each community celebration throughout the year. The first week in May, every third grade student across Shelby County participated in an educational program at the Wilson Lennox House, built in 1816. During this 3-day event, students learned about pioneer farming, cooking, forms of transportation, communication, early law enforcement, how to shear sheep and card wool, and toured the over 200-year-old home. In mid-June, a free application was released for smartphones called Discover Shelby County History. The Society partnered with the SMS group and contributed all the research data and photographs for the app, while the SMS group developed the application and made it user-friendly. It contains almost 350 locations and is set to be updated in 2020 to add almost 100 more places of historical significance. On June 29th, the Society partnered with the Sydney Parks and Recreation Department to host their second annual cruise-in at Tawawa Park. Over 250 cars were in attendance, along with an estimated 1,000 visitors. Rides and a Model T were given to children of all ages, and older models of fire trucks were on display from area fire departments to help honor Lieutenant Anthony McLean. The biggest feat, however, was the creation of a traveling museum highlighting aspects of Shelby County's rich history. 7 panels were created for the following topics: glacial timeline, Native Americans, pioneers, immigration, Black history and the Civil War, transportation, and industry. A panel featuring the history of each village and town in Shelby County was also created that could be switched out depending on the location. This museum was present at every bicentennial event, and the panels were removed to be part of the decorations for the bicentennial ball, where they were displayed as vignettes in the hallway of the courthouse. Accepting the award on behalf of the Shelby County Historical Society is Tilda Philpott.
I would like to thank the Ohio Local History Alliance and the Award Committee for honoring the Shelby County Historical Society's nomination for Shelby County's bicentennial in 2019. The year was filled of all kinds of wonderful events, and one person can't oversee all those. So I want to thank my staff, Sharon Morbacher and Jane Bailey, who rescued me many times, whether it was at midnight or 5 o'clock in the morning, to make sure everything ran smoothly. We also want to thank the hundreds of volunteers who shared their time and talents with the whole community. And this event showed if 5 historical societies worked together for the good of the community, amazing things can happen.
Thank you, Tilda. The final award in the category goes to the Summit County Historical Society for their program, Artifacts with Edie. Edie Steiner, a music therapist at Akron Public Schools, APS, and a society volunteer, reached out to Leanne Neff Hepner, Society President and CEO, when COVID-19 required schools to transfer to remote learning. Through her years volunteering at the society as the society's shepherdess with 4 border collies and as a connector between APS and the society, Edie recognized that the society could possibly be a resource to assist APS students as they transition during this challenging time. She asked if Leanne and the society would join her in making this opportunity a reality by assisting with historical content and artifact selection. For her part, Edie would figure out how to produce a broadcast to students where she would act as host using her skills as a teacher and music therapist. The result became Artifacts with Edie, a live show and tell program on Facebook every weekday at 11:30 a.m. Originally, Edie committed to 3 weeks of Monday through Friday programming, but after the first week, she requested that they should be in it to win it. Though through the end of the school year, totaling 6 weeks and 30 programs with over 45,000 views, Edie, Christopher, and Leanne were the skeleton crew producing episodes using apps on Edie's, Christopher's, and Leanne's cell phones. To accomplish the goal, it took a lot of time, mostly volunteered on the part of Edie and her husband, Christopher, along with after work hours given by Leanne. Volunteers Buff Darkow assisted with the artifact prep and script writing for week 6, while Gina McFerrin helped with the dogs during each Friday's Kahoot online quiz called Are You Smarter Than a Border Collie? Society education staff members were paid for their work, including Mary Conley giving a towpath presentation of how a boat climbs a hill for the canal program, and Dave Gates, who wrote episodes on World War II and local hospitals. There were also some special guests on video, including border collies, a school principal, a therapist, doctors, a nurse, and the head of Summit County Health. Each week was assigned a theme that segued into the next week. Week 1 featured the Ohio and Erie Canal. In week 2, Old Stone School and free public education, first implemented in Akron, Ohio, and then copied at the state and national level, was explained. Week 3 found us at the John Brown House discussing the role of the abolitionist John Brown as a father of 20 children on the farm, as a shepherd working with 1,500 of the Perkins Merino Saxony sheep, and an agent of freedom with his 1859 raid on Harper's Ferry to end slavery in the United States. World War II was highlighted in week 4, along with the fact that the Sun Rubber Company in Barberton made Mickey Mouse gas masks to protect children. Week 5 featured the history of local hospitals. The 6th week of Artifacts with Edie brought the team home to the Perkins Stone Mansion, the headquarters of the Summit County Historical Society. Accepting the award on behalf of the Summit County Historical Society are Leanne Neff Hepner and Edie Steiner.
This is so historically important. Thank you to Leanne Neff Hepner and the Academy and my husband, Christopher Steiner. I don't know what we would have done without you. Buff Darkow and Dave Gates, thank you so much for supporting us through this amazing adventure.
Edie, remember, this outstanding award is for the Ohio Local History Alliance. For 6 weeks, the Summit County Historical Society's buildings, including the Perkins Stone Mansion, the John Brown House, and the Old Stone School, were the backdrop for teaching children virtually. We also use artifacts as primary resources.
In order to keep the production socially distant, we had to wear masks and we had limited production staff, so we had alternative actors. My husband Christopher and I are involved in sheep herding here on Mutton Hill, replicating the partnership between Colonel Simon Perkins and abolitionist John Brown. Together, they raised over 1,300 Merino Saxony sheep during the 1840s. Rudolph Adams, this is your seat. Next, Luke Grasswalker, your seat is here. Right here, young man. Owen Brown. And Lincoln Steiner. Wonderful. We're ready to learn. Everything that we missed about school came to life in the Old Stone School, and it was a privilege to be there with the dogs and showcase all the things that we missed about being together while we were learning. And speaking of learning, the dogs had to learn how to play Kahoot against the community.
Are you smarter than a border collie? Let's meet the contestants. First up is Rudolph Adams. He's on the top of his class, although he's always sleeping during class. It's a little suspicious. The valedictorian this year is Lincoln Steiner. He's from outside Lincoln, Nebraska. That's how he got his name. When he's not herding sheep on the farm, he likes to swim in the pool. Playing for the first time is Owen Brown. He is very excited to be here today. And finally, always lounging in the back of the classroom and playing pranks on the teacher by putting frogs in the water cooler, Luke Grasswalker. Oh, it looks like Rudolph is already asleep. And let's find out, are you smarter than a border collie?
Edie, thanks for sharing your creativity and brilliance to promote local history. It's always a blast working with you.
I will see you next Friday live on Facebook at 11:30 for another exciting episode of Artifacts with Edie with the Summit County Historical Society, where history is always within reach. This is so historically.
Congratulations to Edie on her many awards. Really worth a look if you want to look them up on Facebook or YouTube. That is a very fun program. The quizzes are particularly a good time. The next category within the History Outreach Awards is for media and publications for organizations with an annual budget under $25,000. The first award goes to the Asheville Area Heritage Society for their book, Amazing Asheville. Bob Hines volunteered his time to research, write, and illustrate the book, Amazing Asheville, an entertaining book of short stories and vignettes about people from the rural Tees Valley School District area. While the book is entertaining, it also connects local people from the past to a dizzying array of world and national events, movements, and personalities. All profits from the local sales of the book are dedicated to the Asheville Area Heritage Society. Charlie Morrison co-founded the Asheville Area Heritage Society with Bob Hines. He worked with Bob over the course of 40 years to uncover many of the stories that are depicted in the book. Accepting the award on behalf of the Asheville Area Heritage Society are Bob Hines and Charlie Morrison.
While I pull this up, I would like to note that Bob and Charlie did ask me to unmirror that video, and I was not in fact able to do that for them. So, and wait. All right, so this is the second one that I thought that downloaded and I don't seem to have. So give me 1 second while I see if it's in a different folder.
while we're looking for that, I can comment on the book itself. It is mostly black and white on the inside, but it is packed. Lots of hierarchical information with little call outs and things, some terrific stories, and it is filled with these short snippets that are pretty easy to digest. It is a very entertaining book. If you're able to pick up a copy, I would suggest it. You learn a whole lot more about Asheville. While we were looking for that video, I wanted to talk to everybody about the upcoming Champion Award. It's an award that's new. It's been just the last couple of years, and we'll talk about it a little bit more later. However, we have not had a lot of participation in that award as of yet. Hopefully everybody is gathering all of their data and paperwork to be able to submit some really stellar awards for that. It is the Ohio Local History Alliance Champions Award. It is intended to not only celebrate history, but those champions that are not necessarily known as historians or connected with our organizations. People like business leaders and local officials that as part of their job is not necessarily doing history, but they help us to promote our industry and our successes. So if you have any of those types of people out there that you'd be interested in applying for an award next year, I highly encourage you to do so. And if you want to know if it's someone that you think, boy, is this person worthy? Give us an email or a call. Check us out on Facebook and send us a message. We are happy to answer any questions and see what we can do to get more people supporting that award.
Right,
How
I
we
do
doing,
have a
Betsy?
video now. Sorry about this. I definitely downloaded all of them, but I probably needed to have double checked that I had downloaded all of them. All right, so.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Hines, the author and illustrator of Amazing Asheville. It's a book that was published by Reedy Press out of St. Louis. We want to thank them for their efforts in helping make this possible. We'd also like to thank the Ohio History Connections and the libraries there and the Pickaway County Genealogical Library for their assistance. I'm sitting here with Charlie Morrison, who's affectionately known as Mr. Asheville. And 40 years ago, in the corner of his grocery store, he had a small museum. Did you ever think that your little museum would turn into a nationally recognized museum?
No, I never.
That a book like this would be written about it? That there would not only be this museum in the community, but there would be a museum about the Scioto Valley Railroad. There would be a town government museum in the old council house. That Bob Mabe would have a museum in the apothecary. That Slate Run Farm would be a farm heritage center. That the Barr family would have a Snake Den Mounds Complex Hopewell Interpretive Center.
You could come here and spend a day.
You could.
You could come here and spend a day. So why not come?
Yeah, why not come? You know, we like for people to come and look at it, but we did not build this museum, and really the other museums in town are not for tourists specifically. We're glad to have them.
Oh, yes.
They're here because we wanted local people to realize that they had a past to be proud of.
Yeah.
We wanted people to get involved. So there are a lot of things that have happened here. We have things that other communities don't have, who are dependent on the federal government or state government grants. Everything that we have came from local volunteers and local money. There's no federal or state money that's part of this. We have a public library that was built only with local funding. It's a state-of-the-art library. Kids graduate from high school now, there's $230,000 in scholarships that are given every year. And they have several multi-million-dollar endowments in place, all with local money. And we're not one of the richest communities in Central Ohio by far. This can happen in your community too, and we'd like to challenge you rural communities out there. You can do the same. And if you think that you don't have the capability or you don't have the history, you're wrong. You just need to look at this book, and you'll find out that you have an exciting past and a dizzying array of connections to outside accomplishments of people in all fields of endeavor. I don't know, you have anything else you want to say, Charlie?
No, you've covered it all, Bob.
We want to thank the Alliance. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you to Bob and Charlie for that. The next award goes to Alliance Historical Society for their video series, Marking Time in Alliance. Marking Time in Alliance was conceived as a way to educate and inform people about the history of Alliance, Ohio, while entertaining them. As part of the Alliance Historical Society's strategic plan, the video series extends the reach of the society beyond those people who attend their programs or visit the Mabel Hartzell Historical Home. With the onset of the coronavirus pandemic and stay-at-home rules, the society found that the usual venues for history programs were no longer available. To continue the work of presenting programs to the community, the society decided to turn to YouTube and the internet to continue its mission. A series of short videos about the many historical markers, commemorative plaques, and curious areas of Alliance seemed to be the right project at the right time. Marking Time in Alliance has become a local success story and proves that it does not take a lot of money to produce a quality video, highlighting your local organization. Accepting the award on behalf of the Alliance Historical Society are Karen and Jim Perrone, and I hope their video is in their adorable little car that goes around in their videos.
To a special installment of Marking Time in Alliance, a series of programs in which...
Wait. Let's cut.
Oh.
Let's
Do we need
talk about
Do
this.
we need to do it again?
I think we might have to do this again.
Oh.
We're going to be talking to the nice people of the Ohio Local History Alliance
Oh, hi out there.
and thanking them for giving us this prestigious award.
Well, that sounds great. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for the award. We really appreciate it. And we hope that this is maybe an inspiration to other local historical societies around the state of Ohio, that they can do things pretty well on a budget. So thanks.
Yeah, we've certainly done it on a budget.
Since we started producing the Marking Time and Alliance videos in fall 2019 and started posting them periodically beginning this January, the series has generated quite a bit of interest in local history throughout the Alliance community and among former Alliance residents who now live out of town. What you see in this montage are just some of the historical markers and other locations we visited.
So we're glad to be able to help you out and give you some ideas and inspiration.
Well, thanks for the award. We'll see you next time on Down the Road.
Hey, you're leaving without me.
I cannot stop watching those videos. Good job, Karen and Jim. Okay. The next category within the History Outreach Award is for media and publications for organizations with an annual budget over $25,000. The award goes to the Cuyahoga County Soldiers and Sailors Monument for their Cuyahoga County Soldiers and Sailors Monument 125th Anniversary Social Media Campaign. The Cuyahoga County Soldiers and Sailors Monument was created for the purpose of perpetuating and preserving the memory of those from the county who served in the American Civil War. Much has changed in the world since the rainy morning of July 4th, 1894, when the monument was dedicated. The advent of the internet has opened up a whole new frontier for education, outreach, and the preservation of the historical record. Therefore, the Monument Commission saw the 125th anniversary as the ideal time to embark on the journey into the brave new world of social media. As part of the Monument's annual internship program, they were able to hire a paid part-time intern with experience in various areas of media, particularly social media, to develop, produce, and execute their 125th anniversary campaign. From the onset, it was determined that the goals of the social media effort would be dedicated to increasing physical visitation, sharing their stories to a broader audience, and creating a permanent account of the 125th anniversary events. Beginning with tunnel tours, their most popular event, an aggressive campaign was begun across multiple social media platforms. These included Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, and Google. These enterprises culminated in that year's tunnel tours being attended by nearly twice what were expected. Following more than a decade of research, the names of 107 members of the United States Colored Troops, USCT, from Cuyahoga County were formally added to the monument's Roll of Honor. In the months prior to the June 19th name addition ceremony, they began promoting the event and producing content aimed at exposing the public to the often forgotten stories of the USCT. An informational video was produced, a Snapchat lens was designed. The event was live streamed on YouTube and was picked up by various media networks. Finally, using the publicity from both tunnel tours and the names addition ceremony, they began the main phase of the social media campaign. To celebrate an anniversary is to reflect on that which came before. Using pictures discovered through research and videos produced by the staff, they began unfolding the rich story behind the monument. The foundation set by the 125th anniversary campaign proved to be crucial as the COVID-19 pandemic has required them to close their doors to the public. Through social media, they are still able to share the history of the monument with the public through additional educational content, virtual speeches, and in-depth videos. Ultimately, the social media campaign for the monument's 125th anniversary reached a wide and multi-generational segment of the public and stimulated a greater interest in history and preserved their story for generations to come. Accepting the award on behalf of the Cuyahoga County Soldiers and Sailors Monument are Tommaso Solomon and Tim Daly.
Thank you for recognizing the Cuyahoga County Soldiers and Sailors Monument and our team for our work for our 125th anniversary. Our monument stands here in the heart of Cleveland. We figure some 90% of Clevelanders know we're here, but maybe 10% know who we are, what we're about, and what's inside. We knew we had to change that with our 125th anniversary, and we decided we would have to reach out using social media. So I want to thank you for helping us recognize Tommaso Solomon, who became our social media guru, and Tim Daly, our executive director, who worked hard.
After 126 years, these stories have largely faded from the public consciousness. Few can be expected to stand before such a panel and name more than two of the figures who are contained within it, let alone describe the scene that is portrayed. However, this does not mean that their stories have ceased to be relevant. As an institution dedicated to the preservation of history, it remains our duty to keep the memory of the American Civil War alive in the nation's consciousness. The advent of the internet has opened the door to a whole new world of storytelling and education. With this, the mission of the monument has been expanded, for it is for us to perpetuate the memory of those from our county who sacrificed in the service of the Union.
For the 125th anniversary of the dedication of the monument, we began a campaign of expanding and developing our online presence. The goal of this was to share the stories of the people whom the monument commemorates. Through the production of high-quality online content, including hundreds of well-researched posts and numerous videos, we have broadened our audience far beyond those who might organically pass through our doors. Indeed, the world has changed a lot since 1894. The original commissioners could have never imagined platforms like YouTube, Facebook, or Zoom. The very manner in which we are speaking to you today is testament to the immense benefits technology can offer to the historical community. Our foray into social media did not stop with our 125th anniversary. We are continuing to expand and refine our digital strategy, adapting content more and more to suit our audience.
We would like to thank the Ohio Local History Alliance for recognizing our efforts with this award, and we look forward to the work set out before us.
All right. This award this year follows up last year's award for their 125th anniversary tabletop book, coffee table book. It was so we're glad that is still bearing fruit. The next category is for the Individual Achievement Awards, which recognize people who have made outstanding contributions to Ohio's historical societies or history museums, or to the understanding and appreciation of state and local history. Today we are recognizing two special individuals. Judy McMullen was nominated by the Noble County Historical Society because of her effective leadership over the past 25 years. Judy is a quiet person, but sees a person's gifts and puts forth a calming effect to those around her. Judy is one who turns ideas into a reality, which has been shown in Noble County, Ohio. Under Judy's leadership, the former jailer's residence has become Noble County's museum after being totally remodeled and updated. Today, the jail cells are still intact, but each has a different and important event of Noble County showcased. The Ball Caldwell Homestead, which consists of an 1832 home, which has been transformed into a 1920s residence, a museum, a smaller house with large meeting room and modern restrooms, and a 1940s hay drying barn that is the home to weddings, reunions, music events, and other group events. This property is a major moneymaker for the Noble County Historical Society. This property has become part of the Noble County Historical Society because of Judy's leadership and foresight. Noble County Heritage Park is located on the Noble County Fairgrounds and consists of a one-room school one-room log cabin, a covered bridge, and primitive Baptist church that has been relocated. Although these buildings were part of Noble County Historical Society when Judy became president, it has been her responsibility to see that these buildings are cared for and that she finds the money for the maintenance needed for these historic structures of Noble County. Judy has grown from a girl helping her father work in the family business to a trusted leader and with a passion for her community to make it a better place to live, work, and welcome visitors. She is also involved in area communities to see that they too can be a better place by preserving our past. Without Judy McMullen, the Noble County Historical Society, Caldwell, and Noble County would not be what it is today. Please join me in recognizing Judy McMullen.
Hello, my name is Judy McMullen. I'm the president of the Noble County Historical Society, and I was honored when they entered my application for being in line for the grant, and so I'm happy to be able to say thank you and say thank you to them. Thanks for all our volunteers. I'm sure like we are like everyone else. They kind of threw a kink in things in the COVID-19, and we had to make a lot of changes. We thought we had a wonderful year going with some nice activities and performances, but of course that all got put aside. So we did receive a grant, a couple of grants, and that was what we could use to pay our utilities. That's quite a worry with no money coming in and no rentals, and we had to give up several things that we planned to do. So with the extra money from the grant, we've been able to pay our utilities and do some maintenance. A lot of local people have supported us in helping meet expenses. So I just want to congratulate all the other winners this year and hope that we'll see you there next year. Right now I'm at the Ball Caldwell House, the oldest house in the county, and hopefully soon we'll be able to be open for tours, so we'd be happy for anyone to come visit.
Congratulations, Judy. We will be having these videos. This video will be up in its entirety, so you can come back and turn up the volume and catch some of what you may not have been able to hear in these videos. Our next award is for John and Alice Schopfer, are lifelong advocates of local history and have spent the last 28 years faithfully serving the Mohican Historical Society through a number of roles and responsibilities. Through their tireless dedication, the historic Workman Cabin in Loudonville has twice been restored and now serves as the premier permanent living history display in the area. The Schopfers have, Schopfers? I hope I'm saying it correctly. Schopfers have served as the cabin managers since 1993, handling tasks ranging from maintenance and inspections to providing tours to schools and other groups. Throughout the years, a task they relish, and dress in period clothing to the joy of students. In addition to managing the cabin on behalf of the Mohican Historical Society, Alice served on the Society's board of directors for 7 years, and both serve as docents at the Society's Cleo Red Fisher Museum. Alice's skills as a seamstress have been put to good use, sewing and mending a number of textile displays, archival coverings, and much more, while John assists with period-correct costumes and equipment for display and events. The Schopfers spend countless hours assisting with cleaning displays, setting up and teaching down, tearing down from events, fundraising, cataloging artifacts, and of course, giving numerous tours throughout the year, among countless other tasks they tackle on the Society's behalf. Outside of the Society, they have promoted history in the community and across the state by serving as French and Indian War era reenactors, merchants, and marksmen since 1975. Although participating in fewer events in recent years, John, 84, and Alice, 78, have previously attended nearly 25 events and festivals a year, setting up encampments, with John explaining trade crafts and pioneer lifestyles, while Alice shouldered muzzle-loading rifles and provided 5 live fire demonstrations to throngs of onlookers. The two were also actively engaged in the P.A. Reinhardt muzzle-loading Rifle Club from its inception in 1968 to its dissolution in 2013, promoting the legacy of local gunsmith P.A. Reinhardt and providing muzzle-loading demonstrations for schools and the general public. The continuous service and enthusiasm for history that the chauffeurs bring to the Society continues to inspire others in the community. And thanks to their tireless dedication, the Mohican Historical Society, Workman Cabin, and Cleo Red Fisher Museum are able to better serve their community in more ways than previously imagined. Please join me in recognizing John and Alice Schofer.
We are John and Alice Schofer from here in Loudonville, Ohio, and we want to thank you very much for this award. We have been married for almost 60 years. We have 2 children, 2 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. John is retired from the Flexible Bus Corporation here in Loudonville, and I'm retired from Loudonville-Perrysville Schools. We are dressed this way because we have done primitive reenacting and camping for over 40 years. We would sell primitive living items and black powder gun supplies, and I would take my black powder rifle and shoot in primitive rifle matches. We have been caretakers of the Workman Cabin here in our Central Park for many years. And if there is an event going on downtown, and for instance in the summertime, we would have our car and antique show, and in the fall, our Free Street Fair, and numerous other times during the year we'll have the cabin open for visitors. And we also show school groups through the cabin on a regular basis. And an interesting thing about the cabin, when I was growing up, I lived on a farm outside of Loudonville near where the cabin originally stood. And I rode the school bus by this abandoned old house, not knowing I would be here helping take care of it someday. We have thoroughly enjoyed volunteering at the Workman Cabin and here at the Cleo Red Fisher Museum, and hope to do it for many years to come. And we want to thank you again for this award.
Congratulations again to the Schofers. The final award is the newer one that I was discussing earlier, the Ohio Local History Alliance Champion Award. It was created a few years ago to recognize individuals or groups who are not local historians or local history organizations for their outstanding efforts in the support of and/or contributions to local history in Ohio. These champions demonstrate ongoing support for local history organizations and initiatives in Ohio, and exceptional service to local history in relation to one particular issue or initiative. Rose Mowry has been a tireless champion of preserving the history of the Scioto County Children's Home, Hillcrest, and educating the greater Scioto County community as to its historic importance, not only to thousands of children who live there, but also to the community itself, the local government, the local populace, through media exposure, creation of a museum, placement of an historical road marker, and establishment of an annual countywide remembrance of lost and forgotten children. Her approach to unveiling, documenting, and raising the public's awareness of Hillcrest's history is proof that one individual with perseverance and commitment can make an indelible imprint on the community. Due to her public consciousness raising, she was also vital in the establishment of the Prayer and Recognition Day for Neglected and Dependent, and the installation of the headstone memorializing Pearl Hodge, the child who died while at Hillcrest. Despite the fact that Hillcrest no longer exists, Mowry's efforts have reminded the community that extenuating family and other external factors require public attention and intervention for the generations neglected and dependent children, a poignant reminder in light of economic and cultural difficulties compounded by the opioid crisis that plagues Southern Ohio. Please join me in recognizing Rose Mowry.
Hello, I'm Rose Mowry. What an honor and a privilege it is to be celebrating with so many deserving people. Congratulations to us all. Thank you, Ohio Local History Alliance, for recognizing what has been many years of work. Being recognized as a history champion for my work to preserve the legacy of the Hillcrest Children's Home is something I will always cherish. Creating the Hillcrest Tribute Gallery and Museum is a daily labor of love and my ongoing passion. I am dedicated to sharing the memories of Hillcrest with a goal of preserving documentation for former residents, visitors, school children, and history buffs. At a very young age, I became a resident of Hillcrest and remained there until July 1968. This is where my passion for preserving archival documentation of the children's home stems from. Although there were troubled times, I have not let Hillcrest define who I am. Because I wanted to raise awareness of Hillcrest and the impact it not only had on the children, but the community as a whole, this award has greatly added to my cause. Not only to raise awareness of Hillcrest, but also my passion for neglected and dependent children, especially those affected by the opioid crisis. I will forever remain vigilant in my research and my cause. Thank you, Robert Dawson, for your nomination. I was truly shocked when you informed me that I had been selected for this prestigious award. Robert, I thank you for your appreciation of the time, effort, and achievements that have come from my work. To my family, my Hillcrest family, local government officials, and business professionals, thank you for always being there. And thank you for your overwhelming show of support. And finally, thank you to the many citizens, family, and friends who have contributed in various ways over the years and visited the Hillcrest Tribute Gallery and Museum. You helped keep the memory alive. And I especially want to thank God, without whom none of this would be possible. I love each and every one of you. God bless you all.
All right, so we'd like to congratulate all of this year's winners. Thank you to the members of the Advocacy Committee for their work on behalf of the Alliance to present these awards. I encourage everyone to participate next year, where we will hopefully see you in person and be able to hear the claps that so many of these award winners deserve, and our award winners next year. So please look for us at next year's Ohio Local History Alliance Awards program, and nominate your programs for next year's awards. Thank you, and go Bearcats.